Hey guys, Scrub Lord here, and welcome to another episode of Scrub Souls. In this episode, we're going to be taking a level 1 character through the Grand Archives. We're going to pick up some chunks and a few slabs. We're going to kill the Crystal Sage. We're going to kill the Gank Trio. We're going to kill the Ascended Winged Knights for an extra slab. And then we're going to kill the boss of this area, the Twin Princes, Lothric and Lorien. So, buckle up and let's do this. The enemies in the Grand Archives are fairly difficult, but what makes it really difficult is just the mob mentality of everything. Everywhere you go, it seems like you've got 5 or 6 things looking at you trying to take your head off. The way I did this level is I actually took it pretty slow, and I killed most of the stuff. I didn't bother with like the gargoyles on the roof or anything, but I killed most of the things on the way on the necessary path so that I wasn't just racing through with 5 things shooting magic at me from behind. I'm not sure if this was good RNG or if you draw the Crystal Sage over to these pillars he won't teleport, but I almost got him here on my first try. Unfortunately, I get a little greedy here and fail, but I'd like to test that out to see if getting him by these pillars will make him not teleport. There you go. I guess I'll have to kill him the normal way. I did manage to take him out on my second try, though, so that wasn't too bad. It could have gone much worse. After the Crystal Sage is gone, go ahead and scour the area and get all your drops. There's a lot of chunks and Twinkies and stuff that are worth grabbing, and of course this slab here. After you get your first elevator shortcut, you'll want to YOLO your way to the roof, probably not fighting much of this stuff. And I didn't bother with the gargoyles either. At this point I can purchase any upgrades and I don't really need my souls for anything else. So if something is easy to grab, I'll grab it, but a lot of other things I'm just running past. One thing I want to do is check and see if I messed up Grey Rat's quest. You can bait out these Corvians one at a time with maybe some throwing knives or a crossbow, but I died on the last one and was kind of salty about it, so I just raced through here to get to Grey Rat's ashes. And they're located right here after that tricky jump. To get to the second shortcut, you can either take the rooftops or the balcony. I chose the balcony. You're going to have to dodge around some of these gargoyles. He usually won't follow you down, but in this case he did. So that was kind of a pain in the ass. I really don't recommend taking on the Gank Trio head on. They're pretty difficult for a low-level character, for any level character really, much less a low-level character. Just run by here and get your shortcut, and I'll show you a way you can kind of cheese them. It's still not easy, but it's easier. After you hit your bonfire to reset them, you can aggro them from this side. Now you won't ever be able to draw them one at a time because you aggro all 3 of them. You can see I died once trying to do this. But if you use the Knight's crossbow and some lightning bolts, you should be able to take these guys down without too much danger to yourself just by kiting them around the rooftop of the rotunda here. Now, like I said, this isn't necessarily an easy fight, but they won't respawn, so if you take a few deaths but are able to take them out one at a time, that's fine. All you really need is to kill the axe guy because you want the shield that he's got because it's the best magic shield that an SL1 is going to be able to use. And that's the Golden Wing Crest Shield. I killed the other 2 guys with my fire broadsword, but honestly you can just skip it if you want. There isn't any reason to kill them. The items that they drop aren't usable by you anyway. The Dex guy is particularly weak to stun locks. And that's all 3 of them. The 3 Ascended Winged Knights are something that's also difficult at any level, but particularly difficult for an SL1. You're going to want to separate them. Get them down these stairs so you can fight them one at a time. You used to be able to kind of cheese them through the handrail here, but I don't know if they patched their AI or what, but they don't seem to want to let me do that, so I had to kill them all three. One at a time, but basically a fair fight. If you're really struggling with this, you can go ahead and maybe use some save scums. I didn't have to, it only took me 2 tries to do this, but I think if it had taken me 5 tries or more, I probably would have gotten to that point where I just went ahead and made a save file after I killed each one, because you really want to get that slab. But if you keep working on it, eventually you'll take these guys down. And of course you'll get your slab. Of course, you'll want to go pick up your Estus flask shard off the roof and then grab the Hunter's Ring. Now that we have the Hunter's Ring, we will finally be able to use the Dragon Slayer axe, and that's exciting because it's an amazing weapon. So we're ready to take on the boss. Go ahead and YOLO your way to the final shortcut elevator. You might die a couple times trying to do this. You've got guys shooting at you from behind, and of course just everything can wreck you on the entire staircase. But eventually you make it, and we'll be ready for the boss. One easy trick I like to use when attacking the Twin Princes is that I want to change my camera speed so that it's real high. That way I can spin around real fast and look at things when he disappears. Because if your camera speed is too low, he might get off an attack before you can find him. When you first enter the boss fog, just stand in place and he'll teleport once. I screwed that up. I actually went forward, and I normally don't. You just stand there and he'll make one teleport. If you run down the stairs, he'll teleport behind you and you can get wrecked pretty fast. The Twin Princes can be a real bitch at level 1. You just don't have a lot of health, and he'll stagger you and use a follow-up to take you down. It's just a very, very difficult fight. You've got to learn these movesets. And what I do is I kind of count. Like, I look at an attack, what he does, and then I say to myself, that's a 1 or that's a 2, meaning that those are the number of hits that I can squeak in. So my live fight sounds something like, that's a 1. That would have been a 2 if I'd gotten in there. This is a 2, so I'm going to take 2 hits here and get away. I actually took 3 there. That was pretty brave of me. That would have been a 2 if I'd reacted to it better. That's a 1. That's a 1. And I took a second dodge there. That was a mistake on my part. One thing about this fight is if you watch a lot of the SL1 challenge runners, people doing like SL1 NG plus 7 or something, they're never wearing any armor. They're probably taking advantage of Flynn's ring. They're two-handing a weapon. I'm not good enough to do it. So I use equipment, lots of armor, and I'm using the plus 10 fire broadsword and the Dragon Crest shield, which I actually took all the way up to plus 5, put a slab on it in order to get the extra stability. That's a 2, and we're moving to second phase already. Now, when second phase starts, just run around and avoid these balls. Do not attempt to attack the boss or anything. You're just trying to stay away. It's the worst attack that he has, and the easiest time for you to get wrecked is by getting hit by the balls or stun locked by the boss, hitting your shield, and that'll be the end of the run. With the exception of the additional magic, the second phase isn't really any different than the first phase. He maybe seems a little bit more aggressive and teleports more, but basically same strategy. That's a 2, 1, 2, and I took 3 there again. I don't recommend that. That was a 1, but I scrubbed up the hit. That's a 1, but I scrubbed up the dodge. And as you can see, I'm taking a lot of hits to my shield. I'm managing my stamina by backing up from the boss constantly. You know, take your hit and then back up. Take a hit, back up. Don't try to stay aggressive and stay around the boss, because you're just not going to have enough stamina to keep the dodging up. That would have been a 2, unfortunately. So I basically only approach the boss when I've got full stamina, and then I back up to let it rise. And then of course he shoots that soul spear after the big attack. And he keeps doing these magic balls. I didn't have very good RNG in this fight, and that's one of the reasons the fight takes a while. Sometimes you'll get lucky and he'll only do those magic balls a couple times, and sometimes he'll do them a lot. I'm not sure if by staying close to him you can avoid it, kind of like Aldrich, but I don't want to stay close to him anyways because I need to get away in order to manage my stamina. I miss a lot of opportunities here too. I kind of like to go back and challenge myself to see how fast of a kill I can get. I did make a save file for this so that I can fight it basically anytime I want. And I'm almost tempted to go in there and try it with the Dragon Slayer axe and no shield. It would be a real hard fight for me in particular, but it could be fun. That's a 2. Alright. Now, when you're doing this, I see a lot of people attack him before or after the explosion, and you want to do both. You want to get him when he falls off, and then again when he gets back on, because, I mean, you've got a good 6, 7, even 8 hits that you can pull off there and just completely take down his health with one stagger. And the way things look here, I'm not even going to need a second stagger. I should be able to take them both down probably about the same time here. Did you see that? Look at my health bar. Oh my lord. This fight took me quite a few tries. I would say in the neighborhood of 20, and it's the second time I've done this at SL1, so you'd think I would have been able to do it a little bit quicker, but it's a frustrating fight. Come on. I can't stress enough how important that shield is, though, if you think you're maybe not good enough to pull this off. I absolutely positively use a shield. And there we go. All done. That's the twin princes, Lothric and Lorien at SL1, and we'll go ahead and take a look at my equipment here. The character, of course, is still level 1. I am still using the Fire Broadsword, since I've had it since the beginning of the game, the Dragon Crest Shield +5. I'm using the Mira stuff because it's good against fire, and it's good against magic. And I'm using the Karthus Blood Ring, the Flame Clutch Ring, the Fire Clutch Ring, the Prisoner's Chain, and the Knight's Ring in order to use the shield. So that's all she wrote. It looks like I only used 2 Estus Flasks, so that went pretty well. Thanks for watching. Leave a like and subscribe, and check back to see how I do against, I guess, the Nameless King and Soulless Cinder are coming up next.